In today's episode of Poor Choices, we're going to be tackling 4 different beers. These are all based out of California. We're going to be having Satan Salad from Highland Park Brewing Company. We're going to be having Druidic Dreams number 3 from Smog City, Secret Stash from Beachwood, and we're going to have All Out of Angst from Green Cheek. Welcome to Poor Choices. Director, tell them why we chose these 4 beers, please.
So these beers all have terpenes in them, and if you don't know what terpenes are, go Google it, you lazy. So all these beers have terpenes. If you don't know what terpenes are natural chemical compounds that are found in plants that create their unique smells, flavors, and colors. I Googled it for you, so you don't have to go anywhere. Basically, what these do is they add different flavors and aroma profiles to the beer. Basically, they're essential oils. They're found in plants. They're found in hops and also found in cannabis, which is why we're reviewing these, because terpenes, specifically cannabis terpenes, seem to be an ongoing trend in beer. And without further ado, let's get into it.
You cannot go into a brewery nowadays without finding a beer that is now made with terpenes. Now, I did ask from people that work at these breweries, and it does appear that they are using the strain Blue Dream, which is a type of weed, cannabis, if you want to call it, whatever you want to reach out.
You're more high end like me. We call it cannabis, you know. Once you reach a certain level in life.
Couple of real simple pros and cons about these terpenes. Number one, they make the beer smell phenomenally stronger, like there really is a lot of dankiness in these. Number two, the flavor is also quite there. It actually does tend to grasp your palate quite a bit on that. And the biggest con is, unfortunately, these do cost about 20 to 30% more per can.
Yeah. So quick note, the reason why it is expensive to put terpenes in beer is because the extraction process of terpenes is basically an extraction of essential oils from plant compounds. And so for those oils to stay suspended in the liquid, that process actually costs a lot of money to do. Because if you get cheap extractions of terpenes, what ends up happening is it separates in the beer. And obviously, oil and water don't mix. Everyone's done that experiment where they put the oil dropper in the water. And no matter what you do, you can't mix it. You need other chemical processes for it to stay, mixed into the liquid. So that's another reason why it's so expensive.
So there you go. That's very well said. With that, I think it's time to crack a beer now.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the first one that we're going to be doing on this is going to be Druidic Dreams number 3. And the reason why we're doing this one first is because this is actually the oldest one. Now, really clear here, I did have this fresh, but I held on to one can because I started seeing the trend of the terpenes coming into beer. So I wanted to do something like a showcase similar to this, which is why I hung on to it. So this was actually something that came out on July. So almost a year ago. Is that right? All right, so we're clearly not drinking this on time, but I still hung on to it. I don't care. I wanted to showcase quite a bit of these beers because this is the ongoing trend in the beer community, and we wanted to tackle them. Without further ado, let's go ahead and give you guys some tasting notes. The terpene flavor has diminished a little bit on it, but also because it's likely because it's just not as fresh as it was. I remember when this was fresh, it was just extremely, extremely present on the palate, but actually, it's not bad. It actually kind of feels more balanced out.
Yeah, like terpenes aren't just gonna be the only flavor that is like coming through on it. It's gonna work with the flavors that are already in there. The odds are whatever terpene they put in there, it's because this original beer without the terpenes already had that flavor in there. It's just a flavor enhancer.
Nose that it has like a really nice citrusy. This beer, by the way, this beer would have actually just been great on its own. No terpenes would have been great on its own. That was just the added little kick to it, which made it something special in today's world of trying to make things interesting in a brewery and keep people coming and trying to get new customers. So to cap off this beer, We do apologize that it's something that's no longer being brewed anymore. We just wanted to crack it open just to explain what terpenes are. The next beer, however, does have the ability, you might be able to, the next beer, however, is
The next beer, however, is readily available.
That's exactly what I wanted to fucking say.
Yeah.
You know what? He said it right. Let's just use that.
Yeah. Let's go and get the next beer. Enough horsing around.
This is Highland Park, double dry hopped, made with dank West Coast IPA with cannabis inspired terpenes. It does say cannabis inspired terpenes.
Yes.
This is a 7.2% beer. So this is a little bit of a heavier bad boy. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's do it.
And first things first, again, I'm really encouraging myself here with a lot less. I'm taking off the glasses. I'm going all in. This one has a lot less nose than I would have anticipated. It's not quite as not quite as much. Now keep in mind, maybe I'm trying to find the terpenes, and before I'm just trying to smell the beer for what it is, and maybe that's my fault here. So
I think that's a mistake. People are going to go into it, that they're going to be like, oh, this tastes like Blue Dream or whatever strain they want it to taste like. And in reality, what it's just doing is, like we said on the first one, it's just enhancing the flavors that are already there, you know?
So don't make my mistake. That's clearly a mistake. You shouldn't, you just judge it for a beer for what it is, and that's it. It does have the terpenes, but it's not specifically supposed to sell you just because of that. Aside from that, let's just try the beer. And wow, this is very citrus forward. Tons of citrus, like biting into an orange, like a nice fresh orange. I will say this, Highland Park Brewery is probably amongst one of my favorite breweries out here. They make, hands down, I mean, banger after banger. These guys really do make amazing beer. And unfortunately, this is a miss for me.
Also, I think you like want a lot out of a beer. And to the point where that beer kind of is just like a downfall for you. So you go like, it didn't live up to my expectations. And then it's just like, what expectations like were they having for you to have this beer? Not to sound like a dick or anything, but I can
actually answer that question already.
Yeah, you set yourself up for failure a little bit.
I'm not looking for more expectations out of the beer. I'm looking for more expectations out of the brewery, because I've come to expect a certain caliber. When they set the bar this high and then they miss their own bar, again, I'm not shitting on the beers. I didn't say it was a bad beer. I just said it's a miss for me for them. I'm used to them bringing out extremely high caliber, and every time I have one of their beers just being a top notch.
As far as double dry hopped West Coast IPA, the fact that they have those flavors so mellowed out and balanced, I can respect that. And for me, that beer is a win.
Okay, well, there you go. See, two different opinions. Roger and Ebert.
Yeah. But I do think it's a win. I like the balance, but I wouldn't go seek it out to be like, oh, that's the one, dude. Like, I had that. We did a review on it. Let's have it again. Even though we probably would do that shit. But, like, just candidly speaking, if I could be frank for a minute, and you could be...
Yeah, I could be John.
And you could be you or whoever you want to be. I do think, like, I think it's got good balance, but... I don't know. I feel you wanting more out of it and having higher expectations from it. But in any way, shape, or form, is it a bad beer? No.
So,
final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Let me add one final thing. Another reason why this is a miss for me is we have just discussed the fact that these are pricier beers.
They are, yes.
I did indeed pay $7.50 for this one single can.
I was just thinking about that. Like, okay, so how much is it for me to just like not really get too much more out of it?
So to me again, I will say it's a miss, because now we factor in cost, and for $7.50 for a can, I could have probably purchased two of their offerings, like say probably $5, and gotten a killer beer and paid a little bit more, but I get 2 beers out of it. Or like I said, or you save a little bit by buying one of their other IPAs. So I think that's part of my factoring in for my decision for me saying it's a miss. Don't make this the first Highland Park beer that you ever have if you've never had it before. If you had a bunch of their stuff and you're a fan, by all means, have at it. So next up on that list is Secret Stash from Beachwood. This is a 6.9%. This also has the terpenes in it, which is another reason why we picked up this beer. Let's go ahead and give it a quick smell and break down this beer. Once again, glasses off for that smell.
Also, it's just a regular IPA. So, right, just like an India Pale Ale.
Yeah, it's just an IPA.
No double dry hops, no triple.
That is 100% correct. Yes, just a simple IPA.
Yeah, regular straight up IPA.
Yep. It is kind of interesting to use Canadian Pilsner malt. The nose on this is pretty awesome. One thing I'm going to state right off the bat, the dankiness is definitely there. It's kind of has like a little pitch of it.
All right, I already tried it because
Damn you.
because that's just what I do. But another mellow, balanced.
You know, you want to break down your notes? You want me to read the back?
I don't know. Everything seems to kind of blend in after the second or third IPA for me. So it's kind of hard to start distinguishing flavors. I like to just read it and then be like, okay, can I confirm that? Like, let me try to find those flavors. Because I don't think that bias is going to hit me as much as like another person would.
So this does state on the back here that it's bursting with blueberry, cedar, and dankness. Too good to share and guarantee not to stay secret for long. Too good to share. Apparently we weren't supposed to share.
Of course. Shoot, well, too late for that.
Yeah, we share a lot of cans here. So to wrap up this beer, one of the last things I do want to mention is that the price point for this can is about $5 for the average in comparison to the other beer that I did mention. So I think the entry point for that is a big win for me in my book, and the fact that it does taste so well. So cheers to Beachwood for being able to put out a good product with terpenes out there that taste that well. And with that being said, let's go ahead and, I'm definitely going to drink this beer. We're going to drink these off camera just because, or do you want to slam it? I don't want to slam it. I kind of really like this.
You can try. I'm not going to slam it, but yeah.
I really don't. I just don't want to slam it, guys. You got to understand, we're trying to move through these beers kind of quickly sometimes, and we kind of slam them, but I kind of really enjoying this, so I kind of want to just drink this a little bit slowly. Well, let's do a time lapse. This is actually a time lapse, okay? All right, so we're back with that beer. Let's go ahead and rinse off these glasses.
Didn't I tell you we were rolling?
Oh, we are?
Well, while he plays with the slink, he'll break down this beer and I'll pour him.
So, reason why we wanted to do this one last is very important. So we ended up having this beer at Green Cheek in person, and I was freaking mind blown by it. The beer was phenomenal on tap. I didn't have it out of the can, but it did sell me enough. And I'm not even kidding. He's pouring it. Tell me yes or no. I can smell it from here.
I think it's a little reminiscent of what it did actually smell when we went there, and it was not disappointing to say.
You can't tell on camera. Look at my arm. This is how far I am from this glass. Look at this. That's how far I am. I can smell it from here. No glasses off on this one. I can smell it from here. That is dankness at its finest. That is at its best. Why you put terpenes in these beers. Wow. That is crazy. That's how far. Look at that. This is how far I was when you cracked that open. I could smell it from over here. That literally was like if somebody just... you could have blindfolded me. Somebody cracks that open and I would have been like, dude, hey, who's rolling a joint? The frick, the nose. The nose is ridiculous. 5 out of 5 nose. That's so stupid. If you're looking for a beer that complements you in a way of like you want to smell and taste, but smell... If you want to have that and you're an avid smoker, this beer is for you. Seriously. Yeah, way more on the bitter side, a little more on the earthy side. Little citrus notes. Super dank. if you leave it on your palate for a while, it's almost like as if you just kind of took a little nice rip right there. Obviously, it's not going to taste anything remotely close to the actual thing, but wow, that is, for them to be able to get that in liquid form, amazing. So let's summarize this beer and why it's so important. So this runs $18 for a 4-pack at the brewery. That's how much I got it for. That's a phenomenal price point. And to answer the earlier question when the director was asking me about this one, that was the reason why this was a fail for me, was because they were able to bring this flavor. Now, keep in mind, this was the same price, but whatever they did to that, man, that's crazy. And that just goes to show how amazing Green Chick is. There's a reason why they're the pinnacle people in the entire Orange County. I'm going to be ranking this on my Untapped, and I'm giving you guys a heads up. I'm giving that a 4.75 out of 5. That is a fantastic beer. Period. Forget the terpene side. The terpene side takes it into this elevated position of it just gives you so much more than what you're expecting out of a beer, and now you're suddenly tasting this like extra level. The final boss, you just hit that extra level, and that's what it feels like to me. So 4.75 out of 5. Great job, Green Cheek. Reason why I'm a big fan. So I think we gave you a fair interpretation of what terpenes is looking like in the craft beer industry. Fad, trend, we don't know, and we'll see where that goes. But we wanted to make sure that we broke it down for you, and we do encourage you to at least go try it for yourself. So next time you're at a brewery and you decide to look at a beer, definitely pick up one of these just so you can try it for yourself and see if it's something that you like. I think we gave you a fair interpretation of what these beers can do for you. This has been an episode about terpenes, and we'll see what the future holds for them. As always, drink what you like.